Most people open After Effects and start animating right away. On the surface, it feels productive. You're dropping in assets, setting keyframes, and seeing immediate movement. A 5-layer workflow fails as projects scale. Without organization, 50 layers break down into a chaotic mess. Inside the timeline, you spend more time hunting for panels than designing. Generic names like Layer 1 or Comp 2 provide no hint of what they contain. This chaos kills creative momentum. You stop thinking about the motion and start thinking about where you hid the files. If you hand this project to a client or reopen it months later, you'll spend hours trying to understand your own logic. Professional results depend on an invisible structural foundation built before the first keyframe is ever set. It's the prep work that determines whether a project stays manageable or becomes a liability as it grows. Preventing that collapse starts by neutralizing the workspace. You need to configure After Effects to work for you, rather than just accepting the default interface. Pro designers group the panels they use most, like the timeline, align, and effects and presets, into a custom layout. By saving this as a new workspace, every project opens with the tools exactly where you expect them to be. This schematic shows a standard dual monitor setup used in studios. One screen is dedicated entirely to the composition and preview, while the second screen houses the timeline and panels. It keeps the visual feedback separate from the technical tools. Inside the software, you eliminate asset chaos by setting up a standardized folder structure. Every video file, audio clip, and graphic gets a dedicated home in the project panel, so you never have to search for an import. You also need to lock in your composition settings immediately. Setting the frame rate, resolution, and duration from the start ensures the project's foundation is technically sound before the timeline gets crowded. Once these habits are locked in, navigation becomes muscle memory. You stop searching for tools and start moving through the software instinctively. Now, we look at the timeline itself. This is where the most complex work happens, and it's where a project is most likely to fail without strict rules. Professionals use a strict naming convention. As you can see, descriptive tags like 02 main content or shape BG circle provide instant clarity. You no longer toggle layer visibility to figure out what you're looking at. Color labels add a second layer of organization, assigning blue to text layers, green to shapes, and red to null controllers creates a visual map. This shorthand allows you to read the structure of a complex animation at a glance. You can identify exactly what a layer is and how it functions without reading a single word of the name. To make the system efficient, you use a starter template. This is a master project file that already contains your folder structure, preset composition settings, and color-coded labels. Instead of building the system from scratch every time, you open the template and start with the foundation already built. This shifts your time away from repetitive organization and directly into creative execution. You start every project with the boring work already finished. Think back to the 50-layer project that felt like a mess. With this system, that same project remains easy to navigate. Because every asset has a predetermined home and a clear name, the project stays organized regardless of its scale. This creates a massive increase in working speed. When you don't have to hunt for assets or fix technical mistakes from the setup phase, you can spend all your energy on the animation itself. This workflow also aligns with industry studio standards. It makes you ready to join a professional team, where sharing clean, legible project files is a requirement, not an option. On a technical level, a clean foundation is necessary for advanced work. Techniques like complex pre-comps and null controllers are much easier to manage when the underlying structure of the timeline is already clear. This structural foundation makes complex art possible. It provides the stability you need to push your creative boundaries without the project falling apart.